Here is the reading for the week ahead with the beautiful Colette Baron-Reid, Wisdom of the Oracle Divination Cards. And these for me are some really, really faithful friends is a good way of putting it. So I'm going to start with card 3. Card 2. And here the rain is pouring down. And card 1. So there we have the weekly cards. Back for the reveal of these cards. So it's pouring with rain where I am right now. So this is card 1. Oh, peace. What a beautiful card. This is such a lovely card. As you can see, there is the beautiful egg. There is the dove with an olive branch. And in this beautiful field of green grass that is up in the sky. So a real fanciful image, but also the most subtle, gentle image. And you can see the face sitting inside the egg. So this card this week for you is talking about finding your own peace, is about finding that space where you can feel relaxed and calm, where you can breathe, where you feel almost expansive. It's about getting above the clouds, about really feeling like you can open up to this, to whatever's happening in your life at the moment. Now, while all of that sounds like a really great thing for you to be doing at the moment, it may also be a bit tricky at the moment, depending on how you're feeling with the current situation. So it's all very central to this card. If you look at what's happening here, it's sort of like a central progression. But you're currently here. And perhaps you might want to be here, which is up a bit further, up a bit in the higher regions, a bit freer. There's sort of many different things that we can look at with this card. One is that when you do find your peace and when you have settled into this space, that you're in a state of not hibernation, but really close to that. It's a state where there's new possibilities coming, but they're not there just yet. But it's also not about thinking about those things, not about looking forward. It's about being happy and being content with being in this this state of sort of quietness, this state of contemplation. And the more that you can be at peace with any situation that you're in, the easier the situations become, because your thoughts aren't controlling you and aren't keeping you stuck with trying to be somewhere else. The other aspect of this card is about your higher self. And your higher self is always at peace. Your higher self is always up here, up in this higher energy, in this higher state of awareness. So this card is talking to you about, if you're peaceful in this state, you're connecting with your higher self and you're bringing more of that through into the core of who you are. So this is a really great card on many levels for you for this week. And there's also this aspect of releasing and letting go. As we see the feathers falling down, there's one great big feather, and then there's a couple of other little feathers. And they could see you letting parts of yourself go that you don't need anymore. And it's really quite effortless and easy. So have a think about that too. Card 2 is By the Book. Now, I don't always love when I get this card, but it makes a lot of sense at this time, in that we're often being asked to do things that might grain or might go against how we might normally behave in life. This card is really about following the leader. It's really about sucking up whatever your personal beliefs, etc. might be. And it's about doing the right thing, following all the rules. There may be times when it's, you know, perfect for rebellion and perfect to be exactly who you are. But this card at this time is showing you that it's about slow and steady wins the race. Just keep doing the right thing, keep doing the things you're being asked to do, and eventually this period will be over, but also you're contributing to a greater sense of well-being by doing that. I'm also being really drawn to the horizon in this card. So the horizon in this card is quite high up. In the foreground we have this chessboard or checkers. And so it's kind of like you're being told it's a bit of a game. Don't take it so seriously. Even though you may not like this aspect of following the leader, of doing what you've been told to do, it's simply a game. And the more that you understand that it's a game, the more you'll then be freed up and move up, move beyond that and move into a freer state. And you can see in this card there's quite a lot of lightness coming in over here, and the air is nice and open. It's not filled with clouds, there's just a couple of light clouds around, but it's definitely a lighter, more freer landscape once you just follow these rules. And the more that, sometimes the more we resist something, the more we get it. So this is about sort of giving in at this point in time. And when I say giving in, I don't mean giving up. I mean just following those rules. Our third card for the week is Time for a Nap. Oh, yes. Yes, please. I love this card. I love the gold in this card. I love all those tones. It's beautiful, rich tones. Gorgeous. There's two faces looking in on us here, and one is that beautiful, the moon face, and that's looking after us. And then there's also a spirit face or a higher self or whatever you would like to call it. But it's someone from a higher plane who's taking care of you, as is the moon. So this card is really talking about taking rest. So it's about finding a place to curl up, to feel like you belong, to feel like you're being taken care of. And often we don't take care of ourselves. So while I've said that there's two other sort of either beings or energies that are supporting us during this time, the foxes are really clever. The fox, like most animals, knows when it's time to rest, when it's time to eat, when it's time to hunt. So it's sort of, you're being told, be clever like a fox and rest. Take your time to rest and nourish and nurture yourself. And this is a message that keeps coming up at this time. And for some people, this time is challenging, because they're used to being on the go, and they're used to their adrenaline pushing them, forcing them, and themselves with a mental pattern saying that that's what they need to do. And your higher self and the other energies that are supporting you and with you are saying it's time to be smart. It's time to rest. There's also these stars here. So we've got 1, 2 sort of faded amber stars, and then we have 6 bright yellow stars. Now, there could be some symbology around the numbers for you, and that's for you to have a look at for yourself. But for me, it's more support. It's more being supported by your loved ones, by your star family, your place of origin and your family of origin. And whether that's on this plane or other planes, really that's for you to have a think about. But for me, I see that there's much support here, and you're being surrounded by this illuminated energy, and it's a higher energy, and that's why you're also up in the clouds, because you're being supported on other planes. So once we know that, sometimes that actually helps us let go. It helps us relax a bit even further. So take some time to think about all of those things, but also to notice if you're getting signs and symbols from other dimensions and other energies. And if you'd like to know more about that, there's lots of good resources. Happy for you to direct message me or to comment below if you'd like to hear more about that sort of stuff. But that's our week ahead reading. I hope you've enjoyed it. Some really, really deep messages, I feel, from Spirit. Some real, sometimes not the message that you're ready to hear, particularly with these last two. And even with this one's a bit more about not necessarily putting it in your face, but it's also about making you aware of it. So I hope you've enjoyed Colette Baron-Reid's Wisdom of the Oracle cards, and look forward to seeing you again next week. And please let me know how you went with the cards. I love hearing what you've got to say. See you next week. Bye.